Welcome to my fight show, Mika Frankl. And it's time to talk about some face punching. Glad to do it. Can't wait for people to join in the live stream. If you're watching later, Comcast, Spotify, YouTube later, we appreciate like, share, and subscribe. Comments are great. Everything helps. That as to what we're building here at Cage Minds. We love the interactions. We got a whole big show lined up coming off of a Fight World 45 weekend. Of course, we're going to have to recap that wonderful event. Maybe we'll have some time to talk about the UFC. Heck, we got the BKFC at Mohegan Sun this weekend up in Connecticut. And PFL is going to be in Tampa, Florida. Is it the last stand of Cyborg? We are going to discuss Chris Cyborg, the legend. And plus, we have a whole host of fighters joining us tonight. We are going to be joined here very shortly by Mr. Anytime, Isaiah Solita. We are going to have the barber, huge supporter of the show, Gabe Bencomo. We also have Elijah Lucero, Nobody's Villains. All three amateurs going to be in action at APFC 25, August 30th is Letter Resort and Casino. Isaiah Solita is going to be first up, Mr. Anytime, so we'll have him on here in a couple minutes. We also are expected to hear from BKB Contender Bekzod Usmonov, now I believe training out in Cleveland, used to be here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, used to be in the Bekhzod, now in the BKFC. So we are going to talk with Bekhzod a little bit later. Isaiah Solita is going to be here after he is done with some birthday Shark Tank rounds out at the gym. So looking forward to him jumping on the show. We are coming off of a big weekend. Islam Makhachev making history, 17 fights in a row, 17 fight win streak. He now surpasses Anderson Silva for the numerically record of most wins in UFC history. Maybe it doesn't count the same weight. Maybe it doesn't have the same highlights to you. But man, if that is not impressive, 17 in a row. MMA After Hours is up at cageminds.com. You can see this show right now live at cageminds.com. And we were talking everything UFC 330, the announcements of UFC 332 and 332 gonna be in Salt Lake City at the beginning of October. Then the end of October, the UFC is heading back over to Abu Dhabi with a championship doubleheader where you get Alexander Volkanovski main event defending against Movsar Evloev. And in the co-main event, you have the trilogy fight between Peter Yan, Merab Dvalishvili. Those got announced. We don't have a main event yet for Salt Lake City, but you do know Johnny Walker is going to be on the card. You get the long-awaited return of Peyton Talbot to take on Davidson Figueiredo. So a lot of news going on in the UFC world, and we covered a whole lot of it at MMA After Hours. That podcast already up, Apple Podcast, Spotify, cageminds.com. I suggest you check that out after we're done here tonight. Don't run over there yet. Don't leave me hanging. I didn't mean to suggest that at all. We appreciate you here watching. Like, share, subscribe. Shout out to the Barber Gabe, where he Gibbs fades. That's 100 Coors Boulevard, Suite 107 at Lobo Plaza. Go see him this week. Next week's going to be a busy one as the title fight is just 12 days out and the barber is going to be here. Isaiah Solita's on the same card. He's about to be here. And of course, Elijah Lucero, not sure to follow Isaiah Solita. So we have an APFC 25 amateur edition coming through tonight. We appreciate everyone watching. This is coming off of an absolutely fun night of action at Revel Entertainment Center for Fight World 45. Another action-packed card from Fight World. In the main event, Richard Jennings out dueling Josh Montoya. Montoya, after 7.5 years away from fighting, I thought he acquitted himself more than admirably. And considering at one point a flyweight, most of his career up at bantamweight, to go to featherweight and take on Richard Jennings, plus 6 foot, one of the larger featherweights you're going to find out there, to get past the striking and to get the fight to the ground in the second and third round. Montoya had the back in the second. He jumped on a guillotine after the takedown in the third. And it really felt like there was a moment where the veteran was going to be able to make the heroic return, steal the momentum from the younger fighter, Richard Jennings, showing new levels to his grappling game, able to get back up, able to get his offense going, able to show some great transition, pulls out a unanimous decision victory in what was, I thought, the best of the pro fights and probably the second best fight on the card. If you wanted to call it fight of the night, I can't argue with you, but I was kind of in favor of Rhett Smith versus Seth Stevens, the first fight on the card, where it came down to just who had more energy before Smith was able to get to the ground, get the submission victory. I thought it was an action-packed card, and those two exemplified the most entertaining bouts. Now, one guy who has made a name for himself as being entertaining in the Southwest combat sports scene has been our first guest, and we got to rib him about missing out on the interview and, burning me the first time. He's laughing already. Isaiah Solita, get in here.
Yeah, so what's up? Good to see you. Good to be on the show this time. Sorry I missed out last time.
Right? I'm glad you can make some time for me tonight. I'm glad you could do it. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing well. We have the moniker for you, Mr. Anytime. I want to start there. A lot of guys say they want to fight. A lot of people say they love to fight, but those words from you come with a lot of value. It seems like you really mean it.
Yeah, man. I feel like fighters fight. I love to do what I do. Any chance I get an opportunity to fight, I take it. I feel like I've definitely earned my name.
You've earned that name. All told, I've seen you kickboxing. I've seen you do MMA. How many fights is it that you've had so far as an amateur?
I think this is 14. This fight for APFC is going to be fight number 14.
Fight number 14. So is there any
Mhm.
boxing or anything else that we're missing besides MMA and kickboxing?
I started off with jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I think I have way more fights than I'd had jiu-jitsu tournaments, so
What
yeah.
is it about standing and banging, standing and throwing down has just called to you?
I don't know, man. Like I feel like I've always been a really good wrestler and really good at jiu-jitsu, but I feel like amateur is a time for experience, So what's a better time to experience getting better at striking than in the cage, And there's no way to learn that than to learn how to bang, to learn how to take a strike and throw a strike and learn range than to do it in the cage, to feel it out, to be the hammer, to be the nail, both sides. Like I said, I love fighting. I love every aspect of it, the hammer, the nail, the learning, the being the teacher, being the learner. So yeah.
When did you first come across that realization that you were a fighter, that you were into martial arts?
Um, it's crazy because for a long time I thought that I was gonna be some football star, and it just I just felt the football just slowly just draining away. I remember after my first smoker, I was just like, ah, I have to keep doing this. This is it right here. I always loved jujitsu and I always did it's a little bit of striking in my uncle's garage, but um I don't know, it really hit me whenever I moved down here to Alamogordo, and after I did my first smoker, and I was like, I'm gonna be champ. I'm gonna be champ. Mark my words. So I'll start it from there.
All started from there. So when you first thought about martial arts and you had looked at jujitsu, football tackling people, talking about grappling, did you ever expect that you were going to find this love of the striking?
No, it's just I don't think so. No. And it's crazy because like I do like mostly striking, but like, I love the whole thing. I love blending it all together. I just think that, a lot of the times my defensive wrestling or takedown defense is so good that it gives me the opportunity to strike. And if I didn't like to strike, then I have the opportunity to shoot if I wanted to, anytime I wanted to. And that's just, confidence in both areas.
Is there ever a thought when the phone rings of saying no?
No, if it's ever a no, it's probably from my coach, and he's just like, "Well, let's wait on this one," or I'm not sure how, or if some injuries healing, we'll see. So, but he's my uncle. My coach is my uncle, so he's also usually gonna say yes.
Is it valuable then to have that, to have somebody that's that close to you being in your corner so that you truly know that they have your best interest in mind?
It's a different level of connection. Um, my uncle has been there for me since day one, with things as a kid, with things as a teen, and now as an adult. He has always been there for me, had my back, whether I made the right or wrong decision, and pushed me to be the best version of myself. And um, I don't know where I would be at without my uncle, coach, and best friend. I have no idea where I'd be at without him being blessed, without me being blessed with him in my life. He's a very important role in all of this. And uh, if I had to go with one corner to every single fight, it would be him and him alone.
You barely started fighting, it seems like, in MMA 2024. We're not even through 2026. And it's something like 13, 14 fights just in MMA. What have you felt has been the value of getting in there, getting the feet wet, and the trial by fire?
It means a lot. It's like it really is a journey. I feel like there are ups and downs. There are the voices. The voices will always be there. Like, no matter how confident you are, the fear, everyone can say what they want to, but it'll always be there. Learning to do it anyways was was the thing for me. Learning to let go, fight after fight, and just feeling myself slowly start to put it together fight after fight is almost better than any win. Is feeling yourself, seeing yourself get better on and off the mat, in and out of the cage, feeling yourself become a better man, a better fighter. um Starting to see those little things, make those little adjustments, starting to feel that bubble pop around you that you were waiting for to skyrocket, and I think that this sport is beautiful, and violence is beautiful, and I feel like it's very misunderstood. And learning the beauty in this sport, in the technique, in the power, in everything, and it's definitely been a journey.
You said something very, very, very interesting right at the beginning of that answer, and it was letting go. Is that letting go of the mistakes and moving on? Is that letting go of kind of that fear to get in there and let go and let go of your strikes? What did let go, as you mentioned it, mean?
I feel like, just me personally, I'm not going to speak for everyone. There's been a difference since I fought Elijah Quinn. Elijah Quinn is like me and Elijah Quinn were boys way before that fight, so shout out to him. But during that fight, something just like snapped. There's been a wall in like a bunch of my fights, and you can see it in my eyes and the way I'm acting. I'm always just right there, that close to winning. And I didn't win the Elijah Quinn fight. But I like feel like I broke through that wall. I let go. I just was in the moment, you know? I feel like in a lot of my fights leading up to Elijah Quinn, I was always missing something, or I knew what to do. I knew what to do, but my body just couldn't. I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. Uh, um, like I was holding on to something, like I was afraid of something. But like I said, you just gotta let go, learn to love the sport, and I did every aspect. And in that moment, in one moment in that fight, I just let go, and I feel like a lot has changed since then, especially and as you can see in my last fight, learning to let go and have fun. And you know, like I said, this sport is beautiful. Enjoy it. It's an opportunity to be where I'm at. So that's pretty much what I mean by let go.
It's a little interesting to hear you say that it just came to you almost 2 fights ago, because from the guy that we've seen all the way back, and I'm pretty sure we could track it a few fights further back than that, it seemed like there was, I don't want to say a recklessness, but there was a willingness to engage. It seems like there was a lack of fear that was already there. So was that something that I was correct on, or was that just you getting in there and having fun?
Well, I've always just wanted to get in there, and have fun, and show that, always show my opponent that I'm in business and I'm not afraid, and I'm here to work. I'm here to work and I'm here to win. So, and I'm here to entertain. I'm here to entertain, of course. I'm here for the people, and I'm here for God. I'm here to work and fight hard. So I think that's why a lot of people, find me entertaining, because I'm just ready to get in there. I'm ready to be first, to win, and to get you out.
A 6'3" featherweight. We've seen you at some lower weight fights. We've seen you with the bigger frame. Is there anybody specifically that you try to look at, to emulate, to try to learn to maximize your skills that were naturally given to you?
In the beginning of the sport, someone that I really looked at was Israel Adesanya, just because his beliefs and his morals, and just like, he's super lanky, and he was just very unapologetically himself. I feel like I don't look to like one person individually. I feel like I make who I am out of a lot of different people, and I create my own thing. I am my own person, and I believe that everyone should be like that. And you are your own person, and you create your own style from different parts of different people, and you learn to do your own thing with it.
How much self-discovery was there in this process of getting from fight one to where we are now at fight 14?
Man, so much, so much. The ups, the rock bottoms, at least mentally, going through life while still being a fighter. No matter what's happening, I gotta fight this weekend, so it doesn't matter. Um, Learning to balance that, learning to be a warrior in a garden is so important. And it's like a big thing, that everyone says, rather than to be a gardener in a war. It's important to be violent, to be mean, to have all of those extra things, um, you know, for when that time comes. But to have peace around you, and to show peace to your loved ones, and so forth.
ton of growth, a ton of maturation. It sounds like you've gained from this sport. Has that been one of the, you've talked about the highs and the lows, one of those biggest benefits, I guess, or highs that you've gotten?
Sorry, what was that again?
Well, let the man hydrate. I said that kind of mindset and thought process now to approaching life. Is that one of the biggest positives, benefits that you say you had gained from this that may have been unexpected?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I think that MMA has shown me a lot of different things, uh, and helped me in a lot of different things in life that I didn't know that I needed help with, you know, and it helped me anyways.
So, like, how
And it
surprising is
pushed
that?
um very, and in a good way because I didn't know I needed it until it made my life better, you know?
And it seemed like I cut you off, and you're going to give us a couple of those ways that it's made it better.
Um it's yeah, I feel like there's a million. It's made me more compassionate, I would say, which is like a crazy thing to say, a crazy thing to think as like a fighter, someone who's so violent, but like I spend all this time being violent and being like that. I see the violent side of all things, and I've seen it all, and learning to choose peace, which sounds so crazy, like as like a fighter who likes to go in there and get with it. Um, it's crazy to hear that, but I've also learned that in times, there just is no other option, and peace isn't an option, and you can only be so kind until you're pushed so far. Um, Learning to move on from things, um, learning to be better for someone else, to help someone without helping you. I could go on for hours about how MMA has made me a better man.
We're going to see the fighter that Isaiah Solita is back in the cage August 30th, APFC 25. We've seen you be a showman and an entertainer going for that fight of the night. It seems like almost each time out. So, what is that feeling for you of climbing in the ring, getting in the cage, and being under those bright lights?
Ecstatic. I crave it. I feel like it's been too long since my last fight, and I am yanking and pulling at the leash, foaming at the mouth for this fight. Um, I go out there and fight as hard as I can, as technical as I can, and the best of my ability, and God will do the rest. The feeling is euphoric almost. The feeling of flow state, hearing my coach and executing what I have trained to execute. I am so excited. APFC baby, big lights. I thrive underneath them.
Parker Ford, I have it, is going to be the opponent. And is that correct still?
Yes,
I don't know how they did it, but they found somebody that actually has as much experience as you do.
maybe we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's gonna be a good fight. I I'm just confident in my abilities, and I'm gonna go out there, have a good fight, and wish that neither of us have to, really get that hurt. But I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm here to win. I'm here to keep going, to step further. This is only another step in the ladder.
What do you want from yourself, and what are your expectations for August 30th?
Um, well, I'm gonna go in there, stay long, stay sharp, like I always do. Um, I'm not expecting anything too crazy. I think that I win this fight and get him out of there any way that I want to. Um, whether it be TKO, submission, or knockout. I'm going to go out there, get it done, get him out.
And I just got to ask, from a lightweight who likes to be exciting and strike, being under the APFC banner, it's your third time, but is there something about fighting under the Anthony Pettis name?
I think it's fun. I think that they put on a good show, and man, I don't even know, a good show, good publicity. I think, and just to be back here again, almost to be given a matchup so that I can fight on here again, is such an honor, such a blessing from God and from them. You know, it's a blessing, and it's cool. You know, what can I say? Like, it's cool as shit. You know, that's why I love this. It's just cool.
You said the journey has been full of highs and lows. It's still continuing, but what's one of your favorite moments that so far sticks out about being an amateur MMA fighter?
Man, it's really hard to say. I feel like I mentioned earlier, I would say feeling myself get better, feeling myself start to realize and put everything together. You know, in the beginning, you don't have that. You're in your first 5, 6 fights, you know, you're still feeling lost, and feeling myself start to put it together has been beautiful. Getting to another thing is getting to be a part of someone else's inspiration in life. Like, you know, like, I'll have friends, or just every once in a while people will be like, you're the man, like, I want to start training, I want to start doing this, all because they watched me fight. Is such like a beautiful thing that I take very seriously. You know, these people believe in me, so I need to be working. You know, they shouldn't be believing in me for no reason. So I need to be working to go out there and get it done. So, yeah.
Isaiah Solita, I'm glad we got this done. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Me as well, brother.
I appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you August 30th, and you have a good one.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. See you then.
We'll see you then. APFC 25, August 30th, Isleta Resort and Casino. Just the first of 3 guests we got tonight fighting on the card. You have a great night, sir.
You as well. Good night.
Isaiah Solita, in between practice, there were some birthday rounds going on. He's able to join us. We are going to hit a real quick break because I got a frog in my throat. It's my fight show. We'll be right back. That was 3 drinks of water in 15 seconds, and I think I can breathe again. First guest out of the way, Isaiah Solita. Guy has been fight of the night candidate. Every time I've seen his name on the card, you know he is someone that's going to come out there to bang, fight for the crowd's entertainment and enjoyment. And he keeps building each time out. His game keeps adding more elements, more levels, with a huge 6'3" frame, willing to brawl and having a chin on him. There's a lot of possibility to put skills together and see where Isaiah Solita is able to take that skill set into the future. We're going to get back to APFC in just a moment, because 6:45, we're 13 minutes away. 13-minute countdown for all the Nobody's Villains fans and waiting for Elijah Lucero. 7 o'clock, I believe, we're going to have the barber on, and around 7:30 is where we got penciled in for Bekhzod Usmonov. If you're watching live, if you're on Comcast and you're only seeing half the show, like, where's this back half Mike is talking about? cageminds.com, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whole show. just in case you're missing out on a little bit of the back half side. Now to jump back again, I keep going this 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Now we're going back though to Ozzy Chavez winning the co-main event 29-28 across the board, 3-fight win streak for the Fit NHB flyweight, outdueling Juan Rosales in the co-main event, Fight World 45. Shout out to him. Sergio Gutierrez, who had been Southwest Belt Collector, a title in Texas, title in Colorado. We never got to see him fight for the Fight World title. It couldn't come together, but the long-awaited pro debut down at 120 pounds. I wonder what the pro prospects are going to be like at 120. Are we looking flyweight 125? I'm sure he's going to mature into a flyweight, but right now still a little bit smaller, but a killer still nonetheless. Anthony Jagel came down 3-1 and leaves 3-2 after not being able to get inside the boxing. And then when he finally got desperate to get in for a takedown, was met with a big knee right to the mush. Knee to the mush. And you get the TKO victory, dynamic, spectacular start from Sergio Gutierrez, another of the fighting Gutierrez family to be making an impact here on the MMA scene. Knockout of the night on the pro side comes from Joel Ojeda, who had eaten a couple big shots from Ray Viza early, pins Ray on the fence, and as they're both looking on the fence to do something dynamic, it's a couple guys spinning, and the spinning back elbow from Ojeda lands as he was able to dunk under the spinning back fist for the first round knockout. On the amateur side, Angel Gallegos, 1 minute and 7 seconds to earn his second amateur title. He's the Empire Promotions featherweight champion. He is the Fight World amateur featherweight champion, a left hook that actually spun Dominic Yara, and then some ground and pound was able to, again, kind of take him from his equilibrium, a big shot, the knockdown, and we get the TKO, a big win over an incredibly skilled opponent from Angel Gallegos, who the hot streak continues. Dominic Yara, that was knocking the rust off. That was the first fight in a while, and I'm incredibly excited to see how he builds after getting back into the game. Bradley Tarpley feels like, to me, he's knocking on the door of a amateur title fight here in Fight World. His second consecutive knockout victory, third in a row, according to him. The right cross gets the job done. A quick 1-2 takes out Jonah Archuleta. Zach Fos gets the club and sub of our recent guest, Orion Gerke. Gabriel Ramos with a TKO victory, big ground and pound into the first round, or into the first minute of the second round, takes out Martin Taylor. And mentioned it possibly earlier, submission of the night, if I didn't mention it, was from Nathaniel Dottie. Dottie with a toe hold of Cooper Harbin. So a bit of spice on that submission finish. Big on that one. Fight World 45. Big outcomes. Richard Jennings getting a victory. He continues to build. Fight of the year contender at Desert Dynasty against Ricky Maynez. A huge way to bounce back with this win over Josh Montoya. Ozzy Chavez is building. The pro debut of Sergio Gutierrez. Angel Gallegos building towards a pro run that I'm excited for. And Bradley Tarpley looks like he is ready for a Fight World amateur title fight. So a lot of big consequences for our local amateur scene and building of the next pro to take on the next level. We had a lot of dynamic reasons to be excited about Fight World 45. Fight World will as normal, be back in November. Been told that's going to be Fight World 47. So look out for the official date and announcement. Got a shout out to our friends from Phenom Apparel, courtesy of the shirt. We're also helping us with a bunch of on-site giveaways and building brand awareness. On Saturday night, me and Sal Mora did a little video. We're able to upgrade some fans to a VIP table experience. So we'll be hearing more from our friends at Phenom here in the future. You know, we had Ray from Phenom on a couple episodes ago to talk about the brand and how they're establishing themselves. And see if I can do you guys a little more, better. Like, check out the shirt. Old fight feel, loving the poster. So shout out to Phenom, who have also helped us out with the post-fight interviews. And I know there's probably a whole bunch of amateurs wondering, hey, where was my post-fight interview? We are a little bit behind. They will be up on social media here soon over the next couple days. If I talk to you backstage, the video will be getting up. They're on their way. Thank you, everybody, for the likes, for the shares, and for the response to our post-fight interviews with Richard Jennings, Ozzy Chavez, and Sergio Gutierrez that have been up and posted so far. You never know the kind of next level amateurs, the local scenes, the guys that are on the cusp of breaking through to the UFC that you're going to see when you go to a local event like a Fight World at Revel Entertainment Center. It's like when you show up to APFC that's at Isleta Resort and Casino. You're seeing whether it's the local boxing scene where Donald Sanchez Promotions last weekend had their event at Embassy Suites, or if it was the weekend before that with Legacy Boxing Promotions, from Josh Pitbull Torres to Christian Cabral, Clinton Chavez, Amanda Lovato, to Caleb Medina, Shotgun, Wedo Villarreal. We are seeing next generation, stable veterans, and a whole lot of building, whether it's MMA or boxing, towards the future of the New Mexico combat sports scene. And there is a lot of bright prospects ready to break out, ready to go to the next level, ready to get you excitement. It's get on the bandwagon now before it's too late. You could be the one saying, I saw them fight back when here, because the New Mexico combat sports scene has been putting together that kind of input right now, that kind of talent. Shout out one more time, Isaiah Solita, for coming on the show. He's our first guest. We are just a couple moments away from the Nobody's Villains representative, Elijah Lucero, coming up in just a moment. We are going to have Barber Gabe Bencomo on at 7, I believe. So we got 15 minutes for Elijah Lucero, who's going to be up. And then at 7:30, we're expected to be talking with Bekhzod Usmonov. The UFC was in Philadelphia this past weekend, and it was amazing. It was incredible. It was more than nice. It was amazing that in a sport where upsets don't happen all the time, you can see a lot of 50-50 fights, pick'em fights. From the betting perspective, we saw 2 of the biggest upsets in UFC history, 2 of the top 7 this past weekend, with Mutabek Orobayev, who I've been paying attention to ever since he fought APFC welterweight champion Jalen Fuller in LFA. Gets clubbed on, gets subbed in the 3rd round, was up 2 rounds with a wrestling heavy game plan, but couldn't put it together. And then you also had Mansour Abdul Malik end up falling short, getting submitted in the 2nd round in a performance that has a lot of people questioning his prospect status against Dustin Stolfoots. Crazy weekend in Philadelphia. You got the historicness of the first successful title defense in a 2nd weight class for Islam Makhachev, making his case more than relevant and more than compelling to, has he already passed his coach? Has he already passed the mighty shadow, it feels like, that Khabib Nurmagomedov has cast over him? Khabib 28-0, undefeated, undisputed at lightweight. Hard to argue. But Makhachev, undefeated for 17 fights, 15 of them in a row at lightweight. Yes, he did get knocked out in his UFC debut by Adriano Martins. But since then, a dominant force in the division. And not many guys have went up and defended. It's that second component that makes his case so compelling, because people have won a second title in a second division. But to keep that title and defend, to not just vacate, to not move on, to not escape to the division or back out. There's been several cases that are much closer related to that. And instead, Islam Makhachev is putting in the work. Islam Makhachev is being dynamic. I was very, very impressed by his controlling effort against Ian Gary. Mackenzie Dern, not every champion defends, and she's able to put up the title defense against Jillian Robertson in a fight that was one-sided for most of it until the end. That made it a lot more questionable about the cardio of Mackenzie Dern. For more UFC 330 conversation, check out cageminds.com. I was live with Michael Carlisle for I'm on my fight show. We did MMA after hours. And as I'm getting tongue tied, we're going to welcome in our second guest. We said we have a amateur heavy APFC 25 card for tonight. We're going to bring in, he says he's nobody villain. I think he is a little bit of a villain, though. He's going to tell us why he's not. Elijah Lucero, how's it going?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Villain or not villain?
Villain and not villain. Both.
See, I thought you could be a little more of a villain. I had that thought.
People may think that, but I'm just my own hero. That's what it is.
Why do you think some people have you categorized as the villain?
Maybe because I win. That's about it.
Because I win. You win and you get out there and you try to make it exciting. Where does that come from?
Just by the style. I mean, I just try don't like getting hit, and I like to hit. So anything that's just gonna put me at distance, cool stuff. I don't know. I didn't even think about having a cool style until I just wanted to have a cool style for myself, not even for the audience, but then it entertains the audience. So I'm like, all right, it's a win-win for everyone.
So we're fighting on the Anthony Pettis card, APFC. Is jumping off the cage like something that you've always wanted to do?
Not necessarily. That's more like Brendan Johnson, but I'll do it if the option's there for sure. I kind of want a spinning back kick. That I want John Jones to Stipe type status.
So you're trying to take the liver out. You want that right to the solar plexus?
I want that to the solar plex for sure.
What is it about a spinning technique, a body shot? What is that? Why is that tantalizing to you to try to land one of those?
I don't know. I just think fighting's poetry and art. So anything that looks like style, artistic, I shall say, I guess. So spinning back fist, spinning back kick, Peter yawn spinning, any type of spinning. That's my type of game. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful.
Have you been caught yet in the gym with a good body shot?
100%. Today, actually. Today. So.
What does that feel like?
Not good. Not good. You know, body shuts down. You think you can fight through it, but you can't. It's not the best feeling in the world. That's for sure. That's not the best.
So
better in the head, though. Better not getting hit in the head. So I'll take what I can get.
When you get hit with a shot like that, it's debilitating. Does that start cultivating the ideas of maybe I should target some of these?
100%. 100%. That's all I thought after I got dropped. I was like, I'm gonna drop someone now. This is what I'm gonna do.
You're talking to us. Obviously, we can see the background from the Nobody's Villains headquarters.
Yes, sir.
We know that you're one of the guys that is entrusted with the team, because I've seen you work with the kids. Not everybody kind of gets those opportunities from a John Dotson to be like, hey, I think you have what it is to work with the kids, to formulate, to help them mature and stuff. What has it been like from you getting those kind of opportunities to also be a coach?
Oh, great! It gives me confidence for sure. I love that people can come to me starting their amateur kickboxing careers, going into nowhere to run, wanting me to coach them. I'm a strength and conditioning coach too, and I love that people want to come to me for performance coaching. And it's John's really set me up for people to realize, like, okay, this kid's doing something right. He's going out there winning. He's doing everything. His weight cuts are good. His ability to perform is good because he's doing everything right. It's good. I love it. It's a great setup. The kids, I love teaching the kids. They definitely get me stressed. They definitely get me stressed. That's 100%.
Was there a moment where it felt like you felt you were getting on the right track and that you were starting to understand what you need to do to put yourself together for this game?
Oh, 100% there. When I first started, I was like everyone, didn't know how to eat, didn't know how to fuel, didn't know how to train strength and conditioning wise, was just kind of doing stuff, doing guesswork, guessing my food. And it got to a point after my second kickboxing fight, and then had a fight, my first MMA fight that I had to pull out of. But then going into my actual first MMA fight, where I was like, okay, this is like, am I built for this? Am I built for the fighting game? Because I can't continue doing the way I'm doing. So that's when I was like, all right, I have to learn what I'm doing. And now, since I learned how to fuel properly, train properly, everything just XYZ all coming together like a pyramid. I can go camp for camp, back to back, back to back, back to back, like it's just normal day living.
How does it feel returning to APFC? We saw you there end of last year, and it was quite the crazy fight with a crazy finish.
100%. Great opportunity. I'm blessed, beyond blessed. God's provided me with these opportunities. I just want to go out and show out again. Show out again. The audience has paid for tickets to see me. I have many sponsors this time around, and they believe in me. I believe in myself. My team believes in me, and I hope we could go out and show a good performance.
There's obviously been times where you've worked with the ground and pound dummy, and you're in there landing shots, but what's it like landing elbows end of the first round in that scenario to stop your opponent in between rounds?
100%. That was like you said, it was a crazy 3 minutes. A crazy 3 minutes. I was piecing up, I was styling, and then the last 30 seconds of that fight, he drops me, and I'm almost out. And I fumble into a takedown, and I just started throwing elbows because I was scared, and they were connecting. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just keep on going. It was a great feeling to get up and be like, that worked. It worked. I'm glad this worked.
How there were you in the moment, or were you just a little bit kind of fighting on instinct almost?
Fighting on instinct, for sure. It wasn't like a lot of people say there's a bunch of IQ going on in fighting, which there is, 100% in times. But when you just get dropped and you're taking someone down, you're definitely fighting on killer instinct there. Fight or flight. And I chose to fight.
So you said there was moments where you're trying to figure out if this is for you. Is that one of those moments where you're able to look back with some assurity?
Oh, 100%. I remember after that fight, I made my Instagram post, and I was like, I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that I was able to be put in a situation where I could have easily quit, and I could have easily just covered up and let him tee off on me. And I chose not to. I chose not to in front of the big crowd, in front of my girlfriend, my mom, my family. I chose to be like, all right, let's stay in this fight. Let's win. Let's win. You're better. You can win.
What's the first reaction that you had when you rewatched that last 30 seconds?
Crazy fight. Crazy fight. That's all I thought. Put on a show. That's all I know. That's all I know. We put on a show. Shout out to Eric Arteaga too. We put on a show.
Besides that crazy 3 minutes. The other two experiences that you've had in amateur MMA have went the decision. You've had a unanimous, you've had a split decision. How valuable do you feel those 6 rounds have been?
Oh, great. My first fight was against Alejandro, great kickboxer out of Fit and HB. Very experienced in kickboxing. It was a very technical match. You could tell it was both of our first MMA fights. We were both a little skittish on what we wanted to do, but it was very technical. We didn't gas out. We could have put 2 more rounds in for the show. People loved it. It was a great fight. And then in my Alamosa fight about in May of this year, got caught in a triangle. Got caught in the triangle, fought out of the triangle, and was able to keep the pressure, keep the energy up, and we were on the ground for most of the fight, and I felt good after. I was like, all right, we could go again if we need to. So the night, like how you're saying, getting those rounds in is like, all right, I've got the experience. I'm getting the experience that I need to keep on going in.
Fight World here in Albuquerque, APFC here in Albuquerque. Nowhere to Run's been here in Albuquerque. You finally got out of town, went to Alamosa. How was it not being here and a hometown fighter?
Oh boy, it was something different. I would like to say it wasn't as pressuring, I guess. Not no one's going for you. I walked out. It was in Adams State University, the basketball arena. It wasn't. It was packed. It was packed for like the arena. But it like how I said, APFC. I walked out. I can hear thousands of people screaming. I walked out. I only heard my girlfriend, my mom, and my 3 friends that showed up. And so I was like, okay, it's a switch up. And then when the guy came out, everyone was screaming for the Alamosa guy. So I was like, all right, I'm the villain in this one. I'm the villain in this one, but it took the pressure off. It was like, I'm gonna show them that I'm gonna beat your boy. That's what's gonna happen right now.
What are you expecting yourself come APFC 25 on August 30th?
A show. Just like how I always fight, at distance, keep my composure, throw some cool stuff. It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Have a good respected opponent. Love to see it. Just gonna keep on going out. Respect the opponent. Respect the organization, and we're just gonna try to give everyone a show. That's what we're gonna do.
What do you think you'd like to see out of yourself to kind of assure yourself that you're taking the next step or taking that next progression as a martial artist?
A finish. I want to finish. I want to finish. I want to keep the composure that I have been in all my fights, knowing that once I could go pro, that it's going to stay the same. It's going to stay the same, knowing that I haven't got crazy in that cage yet.
And so far at this point, I'm sure the answer's going to change. What part of this journey are you loving the most right now?
Just living the dream, meeting the people that I've met. Just like I brag about it, and it's just funny to me, but I brag to my girlfriend. It's just like at like Ty Miller, I saw him at Fire World, and he kind of like talked to me like I was his homie because he cornered Alejandro when we fought. And then I saw Stevie Garcia in the bathroom, and we talked like real homies because he was in the cage side of the APFC fight, and he's friends with one of my teammates here. So it's just cool. Like I was like, yeah, I'm friends with UFC fighters. So that's like the biggest thing. Just the people I meet, the experiences that I'm making. I got to go to Extreme Couture for a week for this fight camp thing with this highly respected strength and conditioning coach. Met so many people there. Got to go to the PI, met people there. It's just the experiences I'm getting to do.
And to again put a little shine on the team, what has it meant having a world champion in your corner?
He's my best friend. That's all I know. He's my best friend. He's like a father figure to me. I don't really have a dad, so it's cool having him. I go to him for everything. I go to him for girl problems to fight problems.
So you probably already knew it was happening, but I was a little bit surprised. I guess I shouldn't have been. Chelsea Dotson's now a BKFC fighter?
Indeed. She's gonna go hit some people with some bare knuckles. That's what she's gonna do.
I knew slapping just wasn't going to be enough for her.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be enough. She's aggressive. That's why she be hitting me hard in training. I don't know why. She gets mad when I hit her in training, but she throws an overhand and connects. I'm like, well, this is how it's gonna be now.
from the environment that there is, what do you think is the best part of just the team and the people that you're around there at Nobody's Villains?
Just the basically an environment. We all can crack jokes. We're all just best friends. We're all just homies at the end of the day. It doesn't come to ego. It doesn't come to trying to be better than one another. At the end of the day, we are just working hard and being best friends with each other. We can crack jokes left and right. It's never serious in here. Like, we get serious working for sure, but we always can crack a joke during practice, even when we're beating each other up. That's the best part. We get to hang out with each other. We hang out with each other outside of practice. So it's a great feeling.
Elijah Lucero, I appreciate you coming on the show again. It was great getting to talk to you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
APFC 25, August 30th. Y'all know where to get the tickets. Need to be there live. UFC Fight Pass if you can't. You have a great night, sir.
Thank you. You too, brother.
We're halfway through the show. Appreciate Isaiah Solita. We appreciate Elijah Lucero. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review. Appreciate everybody that helps us doing what we're doing, including Barbers R Us, because it's the Barber R Us beer bomb that's keeping this in check. You got the Velvet Noir, the great vibrant cologne smell that comes off of it, the oh so sweet cherry. Both options are available. You get them at barbergabesfades.net. It's where you go to book online for Barber Gabe's Fades to get your appointments in, because you know they're keeping you looking good. They're keeping you looking great in the beard, and it's all great if you want to expand your business, because you could do that with our friend Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray Images, Robbie Ray Media. The photos looking oh so perfect. Did you just see the photo shoot he did with about to be CFC fighter Cole Griego? Cole looking badass on his bike, all courtesy of Robbie Ray Images. The great photos that he is putting out, helping me with the video. We got the promo video for Barber Gabe. He did a little one-on-one, and we got some exercise, whole promo package that was put out. He's going to be joining us here in just a moment. It's my fight show. I'm going to take a deep breath, and then we're going to be joined by our last of three incredible amateurs in action at APFC 25 on August 30th. This is my fight show. I'm Mika Frankl. We thank you for watching. The Barber will be here in just a second. Welcome back. My fight show, Mika Frankl. Told you we got another guest coming right up, and it's your friend and mine. We truly couldn't do what we do around here without his support, and then the hard work. I mean, the work, the 3, 4, 5 businesses that this man has, and the labor that he puts in MMA is paying off to where his first amateur title fight is ahead of us. APFC 25, August 30th, is Letter Resort and Casino. The Barber fights for the APFC middleweight title. Barber, Gabe, always appreciate you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, bro? Thank you.
I'm doing well, you know, just here, just another Tuesday night talking about fights. And of course, now that we're past Fight World, for the local scene, all the eyes and attention are here on APFC. You have a prominent spot on the card. What does that mean to you, this first amateur title fight?
It means that I'm in the position that I know I could have been in long ago. It means that I know that I'm the best, and they notice it, you know, so I have this opportunity.
What is it about Anthony Pettis, the APFC brand, since they announced their intentions to expand and do business here in New Mexico? You've been aboard, and you've really been about grabbing this title as your first title.
They just do great business. I love the way they run their shows. Not saying that other promotions don't run them very well. I've just really appreciated the production side and the back end of everything, on how everything is just ran. My family loves it. I love the venue, and I feel like we just get a lot of exposure with them, you know, and that's something that as an amateur I really really wanted, you know.
Fight World 28, 2023. You began this journey really getting back into the game. You did amateur stuff. You told me about that before, but that's when you got back into the game. 260 plus pounds, what you weighed in there, now 185, a transformation over the last 2 years. What has been key to being able to get back to the kind of work ethic and the energy expenditure and everything that you were doing back like in high school?
Truly, you know, I was just the worst possible version of myself. um I think I got up to like 330 pounds, and I was just I was just awful, you know, in every aspect of my life. I was not taking anything serious. I wasn't taking my relationship serious, my relationship with God, my relationship with my family, just everything, you know. And I just hit a moment in my life that I was like, I looked at myself, and I remember trying to bend over to tie my shoes, and I was out of breath trying to tie my shoes. Or I'd be in the shower and I'd be trying to wash myself and wash my legs, and I would legitimately be sweating. And I'm in the shower, you know? And I was like, you know what? I wrestled in high school. I did kickboxing and stuff whenever I was younger. You know what? I've always loved fighting. There's videos of me fighting on YouTube, on Facebook from whenever I was a kid. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I think I'm gonna try this out. I really think I need to do something with my life other than my business. You know, I want to do something that I know that I've always loved since I was a little kid.
When we talk about that ability to kind of get back in shape, it kind of always, when people talk about the eating, it almost sounds like it comes from a place of depression, of sorrow. But it sounds like in a lot of ways you were still, even at that size, you were happy because we knew you were successful and you were doing things. So was there a deeper thing that kept you from being the guy that you are now?
Yeah. Although I was happy because I was living a dream, going out and entertaining people and fighting someone and getting hit and hitting someone. Um, I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be at. I knew that I was way too undersized as a heavyweight, and quite frankly, I'm still undersized as a middleweight, you know, and that's fine. But I do believe that I am 100% in the right division, and I'm in the right place right now.
And it's, you're someone that's showing their creativity, showing the outlets. If you guys are here locally and you know the SFS team, whether it's the shirts, the shorts, the Zia prints that you do, your creativity, not just as a martial artist, but just as an artist, is constantly on display in our martial arts community.
Yeah, 100%. If anybody ever needs anything done, you know, I'm always their guy. And I always appreciate it.
Where did that graphic designer element of Gabe come from?
Um, since I was a little kid, you know, I've always just enjoyed creating things and making things come to life, from a thought in my head to paper to like the actual physical product, you know.
How much of a relationship between being that artist and a martial artist and like a barber where you have all these creative outlets, how much of a commonality in the relationship between all those do you find?
I find that there's always they're all pretty common, like you said, you know. There's always an aspect of having to think kind of not on the fly, but really have to be able to articulate certain things and find the best route to get to the end, you know. And I enjoy like that mystery of, all right, I want this, but I'm over here. Now there's something in between here that I gotta do. Now I need to find out what this is to get here. And I love that.
Have you found, since this new perspective on Gabe, and you said from family to religion to now we know how you seriously you take your health, would you say then there's been an overall theme of improvement with, we know again, you have your hands involved with so many things, not just your fight career?
Yeah, 100%. I just think overall I have an improvement in my life with everything around me, and it's shown. It's shown with myself in the gym, my fighting here at home, um, my business. Everything is just thriving, and it feels like everything's running on all cylinders, and it's a great feeling.
What's the difference between August 2025, the first time we saw you drop to 185, and now what we saw out of you in March, where the unanimous decision was a very thorough and convincing victory over Robert Valenzuela?
The difference was, for one, when I first cut that weight, I didn't do it the right way, and I wasn't doing no strength training. And I went in there just thinking that I'm coming up from heavyweight. I'm gonna still have power. I'm gonna still have the strength, and quickly found out that I didn't have that. I didn't feel strong at all, I do feel and know that I still was better that night. I just didn't get to show it. And this last fight that I had, I would say, I overcame a lot that fight. I mean, I had COVID, pneumonia, the flu, and I was puking for like 30 minutes straight after the fight. Not because I was tired, because I wasn't tired. I was just so sick. I didn't even get to enjoy the win. After the fight, I went, said a few hellos to people, and then I went up to my room and I fell directly asleep, and biggest difference is just I'm running on all cylinders right now. I feel amazing. I feel stronger than ever. And I know this is my title, and I know that this is my time.
Josh Thompson. No, not the Strike Force legend. We're not turning Gabe pro and putting him into some weird fight right away. But Josh Thompson out of Texas, I believe it says he's from New York City, gonna be your opponent. Peak Fighting Championship vet, got all of his wins inside of the first round, 3 knockouts. Are you expecting an ultra aggressive opponent?
I am. I'm expecting the best version of himself, truly. And I hope that it is the best version of himself.
And from, I don't know if you've been able to say anything, but from seeing that, do you think this is a more technical guy? Is this a wild guy? Like when you say the best version of him, like what are you expecting then to see out of him?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I could really answer that. I leave that up to my coaches, and they lead me. They lead me into it, and I'm just expecting the best version of himself.
To be the best version of yourself, the next best version of Gabe as he evolves, coming off of a victory where I saw you backstage. I don't mean this to make fun of him. This man was wrapped up in a blankie, had a pillow, and looked like death while sitting on a bench. What does the best version of you now need to look like when you've shown that even the best version of you can dig down and get a win?
It just needs to look flawless. It needs to look effortless and dominant.
From the team that you have and the guys that are in the gym, I think it's almost benefited you that you're coming down in weight because there wasn't many heavyweights. So now I think getting the look of the speed that all the guys have kind of makes more sense for you at middleweight.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, man, I don't care what anybody says. People will say a lot about my team, a lot about my coaches, but they cannot ever deny that we're not one of the best. And it's very hard for people to take fights with us.
Well, I just more meant from the aspect that there really wasn't many heavyweights with you guys before, so it was an odd thing for you. But at middleweight, Freddie's there for you for the power look.
Oh, yeah.
John's definitely there to give you the striking look. I think with Randallson, who's been in there, there's other guys. And at middleweight, I just think for you, you get more looks, so you're able to deal with more situations rather than kind of at heavyweight trying to piece it together.
Yeah, no, 100%. We got guys in there that are very versatile in everything, and Angel, he fights at 145, but he's a really big 145er. Freaking John is a humongous 155er. you know. And then Freddie, he fought at middleweight and he walks around like at 220 right now and just solid. And then our jiu-jitsu coach is a big solid dude, you know. So we've got a lot of good training in there.
We've seen the wrestling component. We've seen the kickboxing elements that you've been honing since the youth. What do you feel, not just this fight, this camp specific, but where do you think the next block needs to improve? A little more submission, a little more ground and pound, a little more body work. Like, what do you think you need to do to take that next step?
Um, I think I need to just go out there and just show what I know that I have and know that I've been working on, you know. I think overall right now we are pretty confident anywhere and everywhere. It's hard to get it's a little hard to get in a position, you know, that how do I say this, I guess they're like submissions, you know. It's not that I don't go for them or that I need to work on them. I could do them. It's just if the position's there and the option's there, I'm gonna go for it. If the knockout's there or the kickboxing is there, I'm gonna go for it. If the wrestling's there, I'm gonna go for it. It just depends on the situation, you know, and I get to show that, you know.
I know that you've wanted to be APFC champion. It's been a goal of yours since hearing that the promotion was coming out here, getting on the first card, having been on both cards. What does the title fight mean to you? What did that conversation mean, finding out that you were actually getting this opportunity?
It means the world to me. I've said this many times. It's been a dream of mine since I was a little kid to win a title, to be able to entertain and freaking go out there and fight, you know? That conversation just felt like it felt amazing. It felt like everything that I've been putting in, all the work, all the sacrifices, everything is just it's paying off, you know, and it's showing.
You fought for Fight World and you fought at Revel quite a few times. Now you're starting to rack up that same number in Isleta. Is there a comfortability in that same venue, that same walkout?
Um, no, I mean, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I mean, they could pull out a cage in the middle of the road and I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna still perform the same way I would perform inside of Isleta or if I ever get the chance to fight in like the MGM or T-Mobile, it's gonna be the same thing, you know.
As we talked about, you were dying after APFC 22. Were you able to have that pride to take in the success, to think about what you overcame, or did that maybe hit you a couple days later when you could breathe again?
Um, it didn't hit me for like a good week, to be honest. I was just really, really wanting to. Damn it, sorry, there's a freaking fly in here.
No, it's all
Um,
good.
I was just really wanting to honestly get that fight over with and go lay down and get some rest because that was really, really tough. And for me to go through that and show that even at my worst, someone can beat me, you know? I didn't really realize it till maybe a week after whenever Freddie and I talked and we really got to really go through it and figure it all out and really break down, all right, what do I think I could improve on? What do I think was my weaknesses in this fight? And then whenever he found out actually that I was sick and everything, he was like, okay, that changes everything because we didn't know that. You know, I didn't really disclose that to everybody that I was actually fully sick with pneumonia and COVID and the flu, you know, and I just I just fought through it. You know, I didn't want to complain because what am I going to do? Complain? I'm not going to pull out of a fight.
Oh, I feel special that you told me.
I
But
do tell you. Yeah.
yeah, you did tell me backstage. You're like, dude, right now. Like, oh,
Mhm.
hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Bit.
I looked like shit at the weigh-ins. You know, I was black eyes under here. I was all sunken in.
That's why I'm surprised they didn't notice that was a little bit rough on you, a little bit rough on Gabe. That one was, but so
Yeah.
far you look better right now. 2 weeks out.
Oh yeah. My weight's perfect right now. I'm peaking at the right time. I'm excited. I'm relaxed. I know what I'm gonna do, and I've already said it in my head. I've already seen it a million different ways that I'm gonna win.
Also, for those people behind the scene, obviously, as I mentioned, with him doing the designs, the t-shirts, the hats, he's a big supporter of his team members, and in particular, one that's actually a family member in Angel Gallegos. You've been right there in his corner and seen him now with consecutive championship victories. What has that meant for you?
It means like that I know I'm surrounding myself around great people, and that, you know, growing up, me and him were very much the same, you know, never scared, never backed down from nobody, always wanted to compete, against the best. And he's killing it right now, and he's fighting for his third title just in like another 3 to 4 weeks, you know, and it's he's a badass, you know, and being able to bring him to the team and everything was awesome. It was just a really good asset to have.
September 12th, Desert Dynasty Promotions, Alamogordo, Angel Gallegos jumps up to lightweight looking for his third amateur championship. And I believe that would put him, 5 victories in under a year. So just tearing apart the Southwest amateur scene. But August 30th, we got APFC, Isleta Resort and Casino. The Barber, what would it mean to hold that title above your head, have it on your shoulder that night?
It would mean that I'm the best, you know, I'm the best middleweight there is right here. And it would just, again, it would mean the world to me. It's gonna mean the world to me. It's mine already. I know it is. I feel it. I dream it. And there's no way someone's coming into 505 and gonna be able to beat me for that. That's mine.
What do you think it takes to get victory over Josh Thompson?
Say that again, you broke up. I'm sorry.
What does it take to get the victory over Josh Thompson?
Pure dominance, perfection.
He's the Barber, Gabe Bencomo. Of course, interview was brought to you by Barber Gabe's Fades. Barbers are a speared bomb. Heck, don't forget to check out Zia Prince. Is there anyone else that I'm forgetting?
No, but yeah, no, look at this. This one's fresh off right here. Look at that. Pink. For any of the ladies, I want to get those. Or any of the guys, because I like pink. I love pink. So
Barber Gabe, we appreciate you joining my fight show.
I appreciate it. One last thing. It's really, really been hard for my teammate Ruslan to get a fight. He's willing to fight anybody from 125 to 140. Anybody. He's a professional. I don't know. Everyone says they're not scared to fight, but anytime that we've offered anything, we've offered to step in last minute from 125 to 140, and everyone just seems to be scared of Russians, I guess. And I don't know. So hopefully someone sees this and someone's about it and someone is not scared to fight him. But reach out to us, please.
We'll get Ruslan Magomedov on the show at some point. I already told him the name was already intimidating enough.
I know.
Gabe, we'll let you get on back to work. Thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome back. My Fight Show, Mika Frankl. All appreciation out to Barber Gabe. Huge shout out to Isaiah Solita and Elijah Lucero. Appreciate our guest tonight. I say our guest tonight because to be the bearer of bad news. For the second week in a row, a scheduling conflict has arose, and unfortunately, BKB's Bekhzod Usmonov has informed me that he will not be able to join us tonight. He's not scheduled to fight till October, people. I'm going to hound him down. I'm going to get Bekhzod Usmonov on this show. I'm making that promise. I'm making that declaration. I'm bugging Vanguard management. But at this moment, he again said he is unable to join us tonight. So we're going to cut the show a little bit short. But before we do, we got to talk about the action this weekend, because the fights are what we're here for. The fights are what we want to see, right? The fights are what, I don't know if we live here, but the fights do live here, because this is Cage Minds and this is the home of combat sports. Now I'm going to see if we can jump in here and take a look at some fight cards, because the BKFC is going to be in Mohegan Sun Friday night. They return to a venue that I believe this is already quickly going to be the 5th show from that venue. Once upon a time, the home of Bellator. Now Mohegan Sun and the Connecticut faithful in Unisville are all about the bare knuckle, and we are all about these top 2 fights. Let me get this just a little bit there, more set up for you guys so we can look at it, because it's Bryce Henry, it's Carlos Trinidad Snake in the main event, unbeaten 7-0, 2 of the top welterweights in BKFC, 7-0 versus 7-1. Cody Vidal versus Joseph Creer, 4-1-1 versus 6-3. We are talking 2 of the best in the light heavyweight division. Creer has been ranked at cruiserweight. Big power for the 5'10" Vidal, who has just been mashing heads, where Creer at 6'4" has looked to use his length, his outside game, his veteran experience to truly make himself a hard test to handle. Will there be a world title challenger decided? This past week, Cage Minds Fight Hour, which heck, actually we got time. Maybe I'm just going to play that here live tonight. Maybe Bryce Henry is all of a sudden, we're going to get a Bryce Henry video. I think I still have it and we could replay it, but we talked to Bryce on Cage Minds Fight Hour. I'm getting an idea. Maybe I'm just going to replay it from this weekend. Henry enters at 7-0 with Trinidad Snake at 7-1. The 6'3", 80-inch jab heavy Bryce Henry has just been a destructive force here at 165 pounds. Carlos Trinidad Snake, 78-inch reach, only 2 inches lesser on the reach. This is one of the longer armed opponents that Henry has had to deal with. His physical advantages have made him a problem for everyone that he's been in the ring with, but now some of them are a little bit more nullified. As I talk to Bryce, which again, I think I'm going to play that here before we get out tonight, now that Bekhzod Usmonov is not going to be able to join us, it's can Trinidad Snake get inside to win a traditional boxing match? Can he find the ability to land his power? The power that even knocked down Austin Trout, the power that has been able to put him in positions to win. How much of the fight takes place at whose preferred distance? Can Henry keep working that jab? And don't think he is unable to fight on the inside, because I think his uppercuts and the work that he's been able to do to clinch, to pull down heads has been underrated. Bryce Henry, a big body, still up at 165 pounds at 6'3". The jab, the range versus Snake's ability to pressure without walking into a big shot makes the biggest factors. I believe in the welterweight division right now. Dustin Pega's healing up, and we do have a Mika Frankl, who is a UK welterweight champion. Let's see the UK and the world champion battle, and then it looks like the winner of Friday night's main event would be next in line. Trinidad Snake, he has to close the distance. He has to attack the body. He has to force Henry into exchanges rather than allow him to dictate. But dictate is what Bryce Henry has done. Undefeated, so far unblemished, unchallenged, the size, the height. He has the clearer path to victory. Trinidad Snake is a dangerous, vicious power puncher. This is an amazing main event Friday night. The BKFC app. Looking forward. It's BKFC Fight Night up at Mohegan Sun. And the co-main event, just as awesome and quite literally a similar formula, a similar kind of problem to be solved. Will it be the length or the pressure? A fascinating matchup because Cody Vidal is younger. The bare knuckle prospect trying to continue to build his momentum. Will Creer brings considerably more experience into the squared circle. Vidal 4-1. The 5'10" with a 74-inch reach is going to be taking on Joseph Creer. A 5-foot height advantage, but only a 2-inch reach advantage. Vidal particularly interesting competitor with his MMA striking style and background. He has been inside brutal, showing thunderous power. He is comfortable in the fire, and he is a brutal finisher. Greer presents a different challenge because he has been around the BKFC scene for a while. The 9 fights, he is more experienced. He had an MMA background in his own right, so he has come under pressure, a methodical wrestler and a solid competitor. Vidal called Greer his toughest opponent to date, and we've seen that here as he was a guest on my fight show. The experience could be Greer's biggest weapon in bare knuckle, knowing when to exchange, when to clinch, and when to try to force the rest to get involved and not allow Vidal to get off in these small spaces. Is he then able to frustrate his opponent? Vidal's explosiveness, that is something that can be established right away, because it's this threat of when am I coming at you, the hesitation that he could put into Greer, and when he could explode in. He has shown that he doesn't need a lot of space to be able to get his work done or needs to land many. The aggression, much more in the favor of the Knuckle Maniac. Friday night, those 2 fights have me highly intrigued for the top of this card. Couple other names to throw out at you to acknowledge, to be interested in for Friday night. Joey Gambino, 1-0 so far in BKFC. His opponent is the former featherweight world title challenger in Tommy Stardom. Stardom, hugely important after 4-0 and 2 back-to-back losses to reestablish himself as a player in what is one of the deepest divisions in BKFC, this incredibly deep featherweight division. Also, for the Connecticut, New England faithful, UFC vet Chris Montino going to be making his debut. Famously took a beating from Sean O'Malley, returned to the New England MMA scene, earned his second opportunity in the UFC. It still didn't go in his favor, now giving bare knuckle a chance. Cito Navarro, a 3-fight win streak. I feel like he's knocking on the door of the rankings. Maybe BKFC feels differently. They're giving him Robert Fitchner. Fitchner lost the split decision in his June debut. Maybe something has to give. Navarro, an incredibly competitive fight of the night with Anthony Sanchez the last time we saw him in the ring. I got 5 reasons right there what BKFC night, Mohegan Sun, must see this weekend. Tune into the BKFC app, the best value in combat sports. Now, as far as the rest of the weekend, boxing fans, you do have a big one come Saturday night in Las Vegas. This one, I do believe, is from the T-Mobile Arena. WBA welterweight world championship on the line, seeing -265. I'm sure you can find odds a little bit different, but a moderate favorite for Teofimo Lopez as he takes on Rolly Romero, a slight underdog. Gary Antoine Russell fighting for an interim WBA super bantamweight title in the co-main event. This is an offering where if you're not there live, PBC has it for you on Prime Video or DAZN. Seems like DAZN Saturday Night Fight Night on Prime Video. So a couple different ways if you're not in Las Vegas to watch Sweet Science with this World Championship fight in the main event. We also have Saturday, possibly the last hurrah of a legend. The PFL is in Tampa, and the obvious attraction is the farewell of Chris Cyborg. And it's the assumed farewell because the PFL has announced that this will be Chris Cyborg's last MMA fight. Chris Cyborg hasn't been so decisive, and in September, Scott Coker is going to be having an announcement about his upcoming MMA company. So I'm not saying that there's already been negotiations, but from Strikeforce to Bellator, there's been a continual relationship that probably Scott Coker could be given credit for being the best promoter of Chris Cyborg. With him coming back into the game, I don't know if it's a full farewell, but appears that this is a PFL farewell to the women's featherweight division and to the all-time legend that is Chris Cyborg, the multiple promotion world champion. It is assumed either way that after this foray, she will still compete inside of boxing. She has been vehemently after the Clarissa Shields fight that has not been able to come together. But in front of her, she has Caitlin Vieira. We also have some other storylines as Raji Gajabavov takes on short notice opponent Tracy Reed. Can the newcomer pull an upset and prevent Raji Bavov from getting back into the win column and most likely having done so with a wrestling heavy style? Magomed Magomedov welcomes UFC vet Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos was one of the more eyebrow-raising releases in recent years for me from the UFC. We always knew the UFC, the Contender Series, the continual cycle. If you don't make an impression, you're on your way out. Only one loss in his MMA career for Daniel Marcos. I am ridiculously intrigued to see how veteran, experienced, dangerous still Magomed Magomedov handles a younger, dynamic opponent who has had a lot of high-level experience. Nathan Schultz, the former lightweight PFL world champion season winner, gets Makashar Zainakov. Interesting last name. Wonder if he has a cousin also in this game who might be called John Pork in the UFC. A potentially high-level lightweight chess match. You also get in the women's flyweight division. Sabrina Del Souza, an unbeaten prospect, taking on the former and way more experienced UFC title challenger Talita Santos, who is not fully dominated as expected since coming over to the PFL. So that just gives you a baseline of what we're expecting to see this weekend. I really like this card. Also on the prelims, to bring it up, you get Javid Brasharat, another UFC vet who, a little bit surprising, not too much. Maybe they didn't feel he was world title worthy, but 4-2 off of a unanimous decision victory just in February in his final fight in the UFC. Did lose to Ayman Zahabi and Ricky Simone, perennial top 15. Maybe it felt like we had seen all we needed out of Javid Basharat, but he gets new life, and I feel like can be a player here at 135 pounds. He debuts versus Movsar Igabravov, 8-1, coming out of Belgium. PFL Brussels stopped Shane Campbell by submission with a rear naked choke in the first round. He was an ACE champion. Real quick, trying to look up where ACE is or what promotion that is. Not able to find that one, but I'm guessing we're still not fully sold on Basharat. UFC vet, former LFA champion Dakota Bush is going to come in 1-0 so far in the PFL. He gets Marquez Forst. I also really like Gino Van Steens, the brother of Castello Van Steens, the current middleweight champion, taking on former LFA champion Robert Watley. This one I am really intrigued by on the prelims. Watley has held titles in a couple different promotions, including CFFC. Also, interesting part is prospect against veteran, but both have a lot of tactical experience. Van Steed's size, reach, rather than allowing Watley to dictate the pace, Watley wants to make this one ugly and physical rather than tactical. This one could come down to who wins the grappling exchanges, but from once a top prospect across the nation, Robert Watley, I've never given out hopes that we can see the best version of him again, that he can have things come together, but I'm not so sure, and this could be one more nail in the coffin if it doesn't work out. Well, let's go back to the top of the card, because we really got to give more flowers to Chris Cyborg, Strikeforce, Invicta, UFC, Bellator, PFL, women's champion, last time into the PFL cage, could be the last time into the MMA spectrum. This is more than just a title defense, At 29-2, this could be the 30th win of her career. Has spent years establishing herself as one of the strongest competitors in all of female mixed martial arts. And it is a very good conversation, if anybody wants to have it. Is Cris Cyborg on the women's MMA Mount Rushmore? We know Gina Carano's place in infamy. We know Ronda Rousey's. It's hard to say that the longevity of Cris Cyborg doesn't belong in that same conversation. Ketlen Vieira has beat former UFC champions. She has nearly found herself in a world title predicament herself. Can Vieira spoil what is a celebration? It's intriguing ingredients because Vieira does have a stature that will at bantamweight. It was hard for her to make that weight. So transitioning up to featherweight doesn't feel like it's going to be an overwhelming issue. She was able to, well, it was only defend herself for a while, defend herself and have moments against Kayla Harrison. This isn't a novice competitor, a veteran competitor, but a skilled striker. More lives in Cris Cyborg, who has a championship pedigree and is a devastating striker. The size is comparable. The grappling ability, very comparable. But Cris Cyborg is able to start landing at range, and this fight will turn in her favor very quickly. Vieira has to make Cyborg work. She has to make her work in the clinch. She has to tax on her body and try to make this something ugly, because if you're stuck underneath Cyborg, it's slim pickings. If you're stuck standing with Cyborg, probably at a disadvantage. Cris Cyborg has been a legend and a knockout artist for a reason. And at least for right now, the PFL is telling us this is our last opportunity to see her in their cage. I'm truly looking forward to it. Co-main event, Gazi Razibavov is dealing with a last-minute opponent change in Tracy Redder. Gazibavov is returning to action after quite a while away. A well-rounded game. His wrestling in control, like a lot of the Team Habib guys, is what stands out most about his game. Close the distance, force your opponent backwards, establish the clinch, get the body lock, make this one physically taxing and demanding, and just wear down a reader that has to go for broke early, where he knows he's probably going to get suffocated and stifled in this wrestling game. Marcelo Alves has put himself in a season final before. We've seen he can crack. This is going to be a really technical bout when he faces Gustavo Oliveira in a more intriguing from an unknown perspective, because I'm looking to understand more about both guys who bring a striking centric style to the cage. Luke Traynor has long been considered, whether it was Bellator or the PFL, a European prospect to keep an eye on. He meets Roland Dunlap. Roland, light heavyweight and middleweight APFC champion. Light heavyweight fights don't need much more introduction than to know that one king punch can change everything. Ritter has built his reputation on being physically imposing with his submission game. Well, Dunlap wants the distance. He is a karate striker at heart, but does have a high school wrestling background. But I still feel you don't want to play on the ground with Ritter because it is his specialty. So you're going to want to look for the opportunities to stand. You are Roland Dunlap, who that's where we've seen him excel most. And one more time, Magomedov versus Daniel Marcos. This one, the most intriguing of the prelim fights. Magomedov brings the tenacious amount of experience and a wrestling heavy approach. We've seen it get him in trouble, not setting things up and eating the elbow from Sergio Pettis. Daniel Marcos is younger, nearly undefeated, only the one loss in the UFC, came back in his last fight to rebound. One of the more surprising releases, like I said, in recent years. He has to force Magomedov to work. He has to make Magomedov ineffective with his wrestling. The easier the wrestling and grappling sequences come for the Russian, the harder the fight is going to be for the Peruvian, who I do believe has a striking advantage, but it's two opposite styles. The PFL is this week in Tampa for us to say goodbye to a legend. Chris Cyborg, one more time into the cage. Totally looking forward to it. My fight show. We shout out to Barber Gabe's Fades. You visit them at 100 Coors Boulevard. That's Lobo Plaza. It's Suite 107 to go in there to get hooked up, to get your nice cut, to build the look. It's where you pick up your Barber's R Us beard balm that you're ordering at Barber Gabe's Fades. So maybe you don't just do the walk-in thing. Maybe you get your opponent locked in because you're already there at barbergabesfades.net to order your beer balm. Decisions. The fight game's all about decisions. Do you want to walk in when you got time? Do you want to order the beer balm? Get the schedule appointment and know that they're going to be waiting for you and ready. Check out barbergabesfades.net and check out the Barber in action at APFC 25 August 30th. Robbie Ray Images for photos, Robbie Ray Media for video. We're looking to add more commercials to the show. We can expand your media presence, team up with your company to give you the best advertising campaign possible with Robbie Ray Media and Robbie Ray Images. Thank them for all of the tech support behind the scenes. With some time left tonight, going to give you guys a dose of the profanity-filled interview that is Bryce Henry, as we are going to see him Friday night at BKFC Mohegan Sun in the main event. We're all right. Same old shit, different day, just trying to make it. You know what I mean? Night right here on 1017, the team moving up to welterweight has the activity match what you envision now, making the jump up in weight class? Because I know at 155 it was quite hard to find willing competition.
It's not even that, at 55, I couldn't make that weight anymore, so I had to move up. But, now at 65, so they say that the division is stacked. I'm just here to fight and kick ass.
The division is stacked. You're getting these opportunities. You said it couldn't make the weight. So what has that meant to you during camp, not having to get all the way down to 55 now at 65?
Now I feel good. I ain't gonna say I feel comfortable, because, it's still a bitch trying to get down the weight. But right now, I'm way more comfortable. It's easier now, not much stress. And I'm, like I said, just here to kick ass and look good while I'm doing it.
Here to beat people up, look good while he's doing that. That's been a trademark of your style. And for the people that want to get to know you out here in Albuquerque, hearing us live before they see this on YouTube, where did boxing come into your life? Because I know it's been there for a long time.
So actually, I've been fighting with boxing for 15 years. A lot of people don't know this. Actually, my brother started a day before me, and they came in from the gym. Like, you're like, well, like, where did y'all go? He said, y'all went to the boxing gym because it was his birthday. And I said, I want to go too. He said, you sure? My dad said, you sure? I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm not gonna let my younger brother outdo me or outshine me. So the day I went, bro, trust me, I went to fucking quit. But I stayed to it. I stayed down. Like I said, I wasn't gonna let my younger brother outshine me, outdo me, and I stayed with it. And now 15 years later, we're doing bare knuckle.
Was it the love of the sport immediately? Was there an intrigue with it, or was it that edge of outdoing your sibling?
Actually, I hated it. Like, bro, I hated it. But then, I guess a week later, I found out, bro, I love this shit. I love hurting people without getting in trouble for it. And then later on, I found out I didn't have to go to school. I mean, I was a smart kid in school. I graduated 3.7, but I just couldn't sit down. ADHD was kicking my ass, so I had to, I couldn't go to school for this shit. Or I don't have to go to school for this shit, and I made it 10 times better.
You didn't have to go to school. You're able to implement kind of that school of hard knocks learning. What was that then like, coming up in the gym and learning, I guess people would say, the hard way and the experienced way for a boxer?
I mean, I would say, you know, everybody has their own route, their own path. And I think fighting was just mine for me and my brother. Everybody paths not the same. You know, some people have to go to school. I'm not gonna like outshine. Like, I'm not gonna talk bad about school. You know, school is good for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people need school. Some people don't. I just one of the ones who didn't have to, and that's
Yeah, because I'd almost suggest that coming up in a boxing gym, training, the sparring rounds, I'd say you might have had it a little bit harder, actually.
no, I love that shit. No, I love, bro. I used to go to the gym wanting to hurt people. Like, I live for that shit.
You and your brother have always been there to push each other. So what was that like to have somebody, to have that sparring partner, to have somebody that is right there going through the same journey step in step?
You know, they always say that, you know, fighting, not even just boxing, fighting in general is lonely. I didn't experience that because I had, like you said, I have a brother. You know, we're 16 months apart. He was like damn near my twin. So everything I did in life, or everything we did in life, we were right there, like right next to each other. So it was never lonely. Like I said, I'm blessed to have him, not even just for fighting, but just in life.
You've been blessed to have him by your side. Did your dad expect in any way? Have you guys ever had the conversation with him? Did he expect that one day taking your brother, the next day taking you would transform into what it meant for your guys' lives?
I mean, I think so because growing up, he always taught us like everything you do, anything you do in life, make sure you're the best at it, or just train to be the best. And then, like I said, we just stayed down, stayed in the gym, went there every day, learn like try to learn everything as fast as we can, so we get to the next level. And that's what we did, and we're here now.
When you hear those kind of comments, were they ever daunting, or is it almost like something to aspire for the way he said it?
It's crazy because like my dad he always told us to stay humble. Like he'll tell us some good shit and out of nowhere, nah man, you're nothing, dog. Like you're nothing. Just make just stay humble. Just stay humble. Like it wasn't, I guess growing up, it sounded like, oh nigga, like you must hate us. But I'm older now, like nah, he told us that to keep us in line and stay humble and keep our head down. And now since we're older now, I'm 25, he's 24, everybody that come in like contact with us, be like, bro, you're so humble, dog. Your dad must be so proud of you guys. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I guess that was for.
How often do you end up looking back at little things that he said and be like, oh, wait. Now I'm starting to understand what that really meant, why he was saying that.
I mean, like I said, when I was younger, I hated that shit. Like, bro, I'm your kid. You must be like, tell me some good shit. But that can make you big headed, and I guess he didn't want that. You know, sometimes I was feeling myself. You know, as you know, all kids do. You're growing up, you start feeling yourself like, oh, yeah, don't to your parents, none of that bullshit. But as you get older, like, damn, you look back and like, nah, those some great things. I'm glad he was in my life because a lot of kids don't have their dad, and a lot of kids don't have even both parents. I was blessed enough to have both.
How much, as you say, having that strong family bond and togetherness has helped you become the man that you are, having the confidence that you walk around with?
So I just talked about this the other day. I said nobody makes it to the top by themselves. You got to have a team. Thank God, like I said, I had a family. It was 7 siblings. I was like right in the middle. You know, it was three younger, three older. Like I said, I had that and both parents, and I have a strong team outside of my family. You know, I got friends. I got a lot of friends that are like family, and I was just blessed enough to have both. Like I don't know, like I just knew who to pick, and I picked right.
7 siblings. Are there only two of you in fighting?
For sure.
Is that a surprise, or did you kind of already know that?
Nah, I mean, when we were little, we always did something. You know, I had an older brother and sister who were in football, flag football. You know, they went to school for that. You know, my older brother went overseas. He played in Germany and all type of stuff. But everybody in my household, you played a sport. It's just that me and Bobby were just crazy. We lived for and shit. You know, we wanted to feel real pain and not. I'm not gonna say with teams like football teams, basketball teams. I didn't like it because if one mess up, we all mess up. In that boxing ring, if I mess up, I'm the only one that pay for it, and I love that. So the ring is the only place that doesn't lie. So if you don't put in work outside that ring, it's gonna show in that ring.
I'm assuming you and Bobby were each other's first sparring partners?
No.
No, okay.
My dad, bro, even like we were younger, my dad did not play that shit. Even like bumping heads and fighting each other, bro. We fought like for real one time, and my dad beat our ass. Hey, do that ever again. Do that to the people on the street. So hey, that was like a really big lesson, and me and him never fought ever again. And we're now what, 25, 24, and that was like years ago, like over a decade.
So you guys are in lockstep, but you guys actually don't spar each other?
No, we don't spar. I mean, we spar, but we laugh, so it's not really sparring. Like it's not really sparring.
Oh, all right. It's more like light touching, light, quick moving.
Like we know when to get for real, like the sharp, like get like both of us sharp for our like yesterday or yesterday. It wasn't for real, for real. Just make sure I'm on my shit. You know, I'm not playing around. Like I'm taking this fight for real. But never like trying to kill each other.
All right. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. So I was going to say, how do you, with you and your brother being in lockstep, if you guys are sparring each other, where did you develop and realize that you had that joy for hurting people? Because that's not something a lot of fighters come out and just say. That's like the taboo, quiet thing. But a lot of people like, I love knocking guys out. But you are open and honest about liking to hurt people. Where did this like realization come from?
I don't know. I guess growing up, I was very little. I was a bad child. I was very bad. I was angry. Like I always smile. Like if anybody see me, they're like, "Oh, Bryce is a good kid," but they don't know, bro. I was a bad ass kid. Like I guess I was always mad, and nobody knew that. So I used to go to the gym. I used to try to kill my teammates. When I was like what 10, 11, 12, 13, I used to try to kill them, and I guess I realized nobody couldn't fuck with me. I guess that's where it came from.
It's hard to imagine you wanting to get in there and kill people because again, you're smiling all the time. And even when we see you in bare knuckle, I feel like we see guys that look more viscerally just like mad being in there, and you look kind of happy to be in there.
I love that shit. I'm telling you, like this is not no fake. Like this is real me. Like, bro, when I did come bare knuckle, I didn't come in, talking mess. That wasn't me. Like my coach said, chill. Don't let them know the real you yet. So now I say, fuck it. He said, now go ahead, show the real you, bro. He says you're a demon. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
You're a demon.
Says, man, he's like, bro, yeah, he said, bro, he always said, like, bro, you're one of the special ones. Like, cause he coached me since I was like 14, 15. And now I'm 25, about to be 26 soon. He watched me grow up. I even call him like he's like another father figure. So he watched me, like he knows like this kid's gonna be big, like for real, for real. He'd been saying that even before people really knew who I was. He'd been saying this even before I got to bare knuckle. He talked highly of me. And that's why even for the BKFC, I didn't try out. Like he spoke so good at me. They let me right in the front door.
And that was a obviously correct move for them to make. We've seen you be dominant. Have we even had to get past the jab yet? I was going to say your jab won most of your fights so far. So I was going to say, have we even had to get past the first punch yet?
Nah, man. See, me being boxing so long, I'm glad I did that. Like, I'm glad the first sport I did was boxing, I mean, it wasn't the first sport. Like, the first sport I actually took serious. 'Cause I played basketball, I played football. But when I stepped into boxing, that's the one I actually took serious and stayed for a very long time. And as you guys see, nobody can mess with me. They can't even get past my jab. So I might as well look. When I get in a real fight, somebody might die for real, for real. So I'm trying to prolong that. But if it comes down to it, I'm ready for whatever.
Mika Frankl back live. That was just a taste of my conversation with Bryce Henry this past Saturday night, Cage Minds Fight Hour, every Saturday night on ESPN Radio 1017. The team is Fight Night with Cage Minds Fight Hour, 8 p.m. local time to 9 p.m. That's Mountain Time. And you guys heard it first there with Bryce Henry. And now, giving you guys just a little bit of taste, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube to see the full interview before he is back in the BKFC ring Friday night in the main event of BKFC Fight Night Mohegan Sun. It's been a fun night. I appreciate everyone. Like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to Isaiah Solita, Barber Gabe, Elijah Lucero, Barber Gabe's Fades. You visit them at 100 Coors Boulevard, Suite 107. You book at barbergatefades.net to get the best beard balm in the Southwest. 2 different options, the Velvet Noir and the cherry flavor. Photos, you want clear, quality, high-class products. It's Robbie Ray Images. It's cageminds.com for the latest in combat sports news, because this is where combat sports live. Enjoy the entertainment. Keep fighting. We'll see you at the fights. Have a good night.